is. The Hangout on Air is live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the September 11th board meeting of the Tennessee Bitcoin Alliance. We have agenda notes, which I assume you guys have links to. If not, I will grab that right now.
Yep, it's the 17th, though.
Yes. Did I not say the 17th?
I think you said 11th. But,
oh, that's hilarious. No, it is the 17th. Thank you for fixing that. And, oh, they've got a Q&A section.
Oh, I see. Found it.
Mayor, I'm sending the link as well. Okay, so there's the agenda, meeting notes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I posted it in the wrong place the first time. So here we go. So our agenda, as it stands right now, is to create the multi-sig wallet while we get everybody on, discuss our stance on affirmative action and/or equality representation for minority groups within the board, organization, etc. That could be a very interesting discussion. Reviewing our SoboFest action team and activities, review any website changes that happened over the past week, discuss any membership levels if we're ready to do that, if the action team is, has anything ready to propose for that, and then to review the action team descriptions and action team SOP. Is there anything else that we feel we should add or subtract to that before we get started?
No, I think that's good. I think I got, yeah, I think that's good. I have thoughts on all of them, so I'll wait till we get to that point. So.
Alrighty, do you want to fire us off as far as the multi-sig? Let's just get that taken care of.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys would all go ahead and go to copay.io, they have, I'm just going to use their web app, but they also have, like, if you'd rather just access it through one location, either their web app or the Android app, or there's a browser extension.
should I use the web version or browser extension?
That's what I'm using. We can all work together regardless of which one you use. My preference is the web version.
All right.
So you're gonna click the create a wallet, and then we'll click the join a wallet in creation.
Yes.
All right.
So wallet name, Tennessee Bitcoin Alliance. Select a number of. Okay, so there's 4 of us. How should we do this? We have a few options as far as how many signatures we need to verify a transaction. Should it be 2 of 4 or 3 of 4 or all 4 of 4? What do you guys think?
That's interesting because, I mean, the way we've set things up, the treasurer should have the ability to do things, right?
Right. But if we do 1 of 4, everybody does. If we do 2 of 4, then it just takes 2 board directors. Regardless, the downside is with this, the more security, the more risk there is as far as, like, if one of us loses our access for it, well, then we lose all the coins.
Yeah.
I mean, both for administrative convenience and for the reason you just said about losing coins, which would be very bad. I think 2 of 4 is sufficient.
Yeah, I would say 2 of 4. 2 of 4 is probably the smartest idea.
Okay, great. 2 of 4. My name.
So do I click join a wallet in creation or not yet?
Yeah, he'll send us some info.
Yeah, just one moment, and then we'll do that. And what you'll do is you'll need 2 things. You'll generate a password, or you'll use a password. You'll create one for your account, for your wallet, and then Copay will give you a downloadable encrypted key, essentially, that's encrypted with that password. So you'll keep that file, because to get back into the wallet anytime, you'll need both the file itself and the password.
Cool. So yeah, just I would say, do you want to just message us the?
Yeah, so it gave me what it is. It gave me a
wallet secret.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it in the Hangouts.
Yeah, the TBA board member chat we have going.
Okay, so the number that I just posted in there, all the numbers and letters, that is the secret, as they call it. So if you go to join wallet creation, you should be able to paste that secret in there.
You posted that where, John? I'm not seeing that.
In the TVA board members chat. Hangouts.
Huh. Mine didn't actually update.
Like not in the chat here on the video call, but in the chat we typically use.
Yeah, did you see me just type testing?
No,
That's quite odd. I think you might not be connected, John. Did anyone else see me type testing?
No.
Maybe I'm not connected.
because Sean, it says that you saw the key. Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Now
Okay.
I'm seeing a can't connect to server error, so hold on, my Google Plus is probably...
Where am I supposed to be seeing this, guys?
The Hangouts where we typically where you receive the link for this call. The chat window we typically have opened.
Gotcha. Okay, so the long string of letters and numbers there.
Yes.
That is... Okay.
That's just that's only just used for the wallet creation. You'll use that right now when you go to join wallet creation. You'll paste that in. You'll create it. You'll join it. It says it's just me so far.
Yeah, I'll be there in just a second. I had to reconnect here.
Okay.
So I should go ahead and click creation. And I paste the secret. All right.
All right. Any luck, Luke?
Yep, it says authenticating, looking for peers.
Okay, great. Yeah, it says okay. It says I'm there. It says Sean is there. It says Luke's there. We're sorting on Sean King. Are you on the site, Sean? You got it?
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, there we go. Okay, great. All four of us are in there. Okay, so now you should see a button that says Backup Wallet. Do you see that?
Yep.
Okay, just go ahead and save that somewhere safe and secure, and that'll be encrypted with the password you just created.
So how do I save it?
There should be a big green button that says Save.
Just
Save
says
backup.
wallet. Click on backup wallet.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's quite a number.
All right, and we now have an address. We're in. Now, it's important that you keep that that file that you downloaded, because the only way you can log back into this wallet through the web app or through any of the applications is by both knowing your password and having that file and
Well,
uploading that file back to CoPay.
It didn't download the file for me. It just opened up a big long string of letters and numbers in my web browser. I can copy and paste them into a file, I guess.
That's odd.
Yeah, that is odd. What browser are you using, Sean?
Safari.
Okay, well, are you logged into the wallet? Did it open that?
Yeah, it says send receive at the left, so I guess I am.
Yeah, so if you go down to settings, if you go into settings right there in CoPay, then there's another button that says download file. You can re-download it back up.
Okay.
Nice. And then, so we have our receiving address. This is our new address. I guess, John, you and I can probably log into the other CoPay wallet and transfer it to this.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, we'll go into that, because that one's a 2 out of 3, so it just requires the two of us.
Yeah.
As it's still not letting me download that file.
But could you try right-clicking on the button and see if it says, like, download or save as?
I'm trying that. It's weird. Anybody else using Safari?
I'm using Chrome.
Chrome. I wonder if that's the issue. I mean, do you have the option to, like, if you right-click on download file, can you hit save as?
No. Can I come in?
Whatever.
Chrome real quick? I should be able to log on, right?
Well, without the file, you can't. Without the file, I don't think you can log back into the wallet.
Well, that's great.
We can recreate it again.
Well, let me try logging in. I copied and pasted the text from the file that appeared in my browser, so maybe that's what I need.
Well, it needs to be a .json.aes file that you upload. So, Luke or Sean Roy, do either of you know what that actually means? Because I just know the.
Yeah, no, file naming conventions shouldn't matter as much as the content of the file. But that's just AES is encryption mechanism. JSON is a format for data.
All right, so if I go back to copay.io and I want to log into the wallet, where would I go?
I believe there's a button that's. Let me see. You go back to.
Back to web version again.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, I'm using Chrome now, so hopefully this will work. Join a wallet in creation, create a new wallet. Well,
There's also import a backup. You see that button?
yeah.
That's how you would do it. But the thing is, they're going to ask you to enter your password and to upload a file. But if you don't have the file.
Well, if you've got the string, if you've saved that as a string, if it ends with an equals sign, it's a good chance you've got. Yeah, it's a good. Then it's a good chance you've got everything you need. Just when it asks for a file, send it that file.
Well, it's not a file. It's just.
Well, go ahead and save it as a file. Select all that text, save it as a text file. You can put the .json.aes extension if you want, but that is your actual backup file. The contents of that. Just save it as a text file in Notepad or anything like that, whatever program you're using. That should work out well.
Well, I don't know what program to use. I mean, I can use Word.
Are you on Windows?
No, I'm on a Mac.
You can use, let's see, because you don't want to use a program that's going to add any extra characters. Do you have Notes? Or, let's see, probably not even Notes. TextMate or TextPad, TextEdit?
See, I got TextEdit, yeah.
Go ahead and use TextEdit. That should hopefully just give you a pure text file. Because Word might add some markup and stuff, styling and things. But yeah, if you paste that as a file, you should be good. John, in the meantime, do you want to you and I go ahead and
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Transfer the file over.
yeah, trying to see how you even log out.
Well, no. What I would. Oh, you can do that. I think if you just go back to the home screen, or I'm just gonna keep both open. So I'm gonna open in an incognito window.
There you go. That'll work. My son is killing flies.
So should I try to import the backup now that I've got that file and see if it lets me?
Yeah. Give that a shot while we're opening this other wallet.
I don't see any place where I can make notes in here, but I created another wallet address inside of the Copay account. So
Okay.
that way we can put, I'll use that because we have to change the donation address on the website.
Right.
So
Yeah, guys, I think we're going to have to do this again. It's not letting me log in. It's telling me my password is wrong, which it's not wrong.
Okay.
And I've used that RTF file, which was the one that was created in Text Editor. Text Edit. I'll do it in Chrome this time.
Huh. Oh, wait a second. Okay. So, guys, did you catch that? It sounds like we got to start over.
Yeah, did you, John, I don't know if you noticed, but it says that this is configured for testnet,
Yeah, I just saw that.
which is slightly concerning.
Yeah. Okay, so which I figured out what we need to do. When you go into the let's not use that wallet, discard that address, go back, and we'll create a new wallet. And before we do that, we have to go into settings and check LiveNet.
Quite important, but what I'm concerned about is the funds that have already been sent to the previous address. Are those lost now?
I don't think so, but I think if you and I, do you have time after this call for you and I to try to hash through that real quick?
Yep.
Okay, I think I know how to get around that if we enable the LiveNet and then upload that wallet. But rather than do that as a group, I think if we can take first thing we got to get this set up, this wallet set up. So if you guys would all go back to copay.io/in/app and hit settings before creating a wallet. Wait, did we lose Sean King?
Oh, looks like we did, yeah.
All right, I've got it on LiveNet now. Looks like we lost Sean, though.
Yeah. Okay, great, he's back. Welcome back.
Sorry.
That's okay. Everything all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So go back to the Copay web app.
All right.
Okay, and before you go to join a wallet in creation, and you're in Chrome, right?
I'm in Chrome.
Good. Before you go to join a wallet in creation, you'll need to go into settings, and you'll see where it says LiveNet, and you'll have to check that box.
Okay. Then go ahead and click on Join Wallet.
Yeah, after you've enabled the testnet, or I'm sorry, enabled LiveNet, and I'll give you guys in the same chat. I'll give you guys the new secret key. Okay, that's it. I've got Luke. And there we go. We got all four of us. Okay, so now, Sean King, are you able to click Backup Wallet now? Does it open a new tab or does it download something?
Seemingly worked. All right, good.
Save the file?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, great. Okay, so now we're in. All right. So we now have a wallet. Everyone have the file saved?
Yep.
Great. Okay, cool. So that's our new address right there, 310L, lots of stuff. Share that publicly with anybody.
I'm going to go ahead and send our other balance to that. Cool.
Okay,
Like,
can you do that? Are you already in
yeah,
there?
it's like $34. Yeah, I'm gonna click send. Let's see what happens here. Success. The transaction proposal has been created. Cool. So John, if you just log into the old wallet,
Okay.
I guess you can then, yeah, one signature missing. Gonna
Okay.
cost 100 bits. That's really cool. So it's a full proposal ID, and everything gets created. And once that happens, we should see that come through.
Did you set this up as a 3 out of 4, or did you set it up as a 2 out of 4?
2 out of 4.
Okay. Oh, I see what's going on here. The other wallet addresses were a 2 number because it was on the test net.
That explains it. I was wondering why it was a 2 number because I was surprised.
Yeah, I was too.
Interesting.
Because okay, so for those of you that don't know, typically a Bitcoin wallet always starts with a 1 unless it is unless it's a multi-signature wallet, in which case it typically begins with a 3. And that's the first time I'd ever seen an address starting with a 2, and we had that a minute ago. So I imagine may just be a testnet thing, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's testnet.
All right, cool.
You have a pending transaction proposal. Huh. Yeah, Luke, I'll have to try to log into the wallet after this meeting because I tried logging in and it just brought me to like the new wallet created screen.
Huh. And
I don't know why.
you did the backup? You gotta do the
Yeah.
backup. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the backup and it says 2 people have yet to back up this wallet. I don't know. I'll look at that in a minute.
Okay.
After this. Okay, cool. So we now have a wallet. You have an address, and we'll replace the public address on the website to say that.
Cool.
Okay, so that took a little longer than expected, but we got it done.
We got it done. Do you guys want to? Is the order of this? Because I think the discussing, affirmative action stuff, that could be a pretty detailed discussion that could actually take up a lot of time. I don't know. Do you think there's any? Do you want to reprioritize this list? I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, SoberFest is a week from Friday, so I would say that I would like it if we could talk about that real quick.
Cool.
But that's not really a big conversation.
Okay.
Is that cool if I go ahead and talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. SoberFest, I may have touched on it briefly before, but it's essentially South Broad, Nashville Community Festival, beer, tents, and all that kind of stuff. And the National Technology Council is giving us a tent. And so we're going to have, a week from Friday, we'll have a tent there at the event for the Tennessee Bitcoin Alliance. And they asked us to go ahead and feature a few different... They said they would give us space to feature a couple local businesses. They thought that would make it really real to people. So we're going to do that. So James Shealy from the UPS store, who not only accepts Bitcoin but also sells it, he's planning on being there with a tablet and everything to talk about his business. And I'm planning on being there to help with the TBA table, and any of you are welcome to join me. I think, Sean, you said you might come, right?
No, I think I will be there for sure, yeah.
Okay, great. All right, and then as far as other businesses, Sean is going to talk to Peacock Financial, since they're really looking to target that area. I mean, it's right outside the Entrepreneur Center, so there's probably going to be a lot of those types of folks there. And they already accept Bitcoin. So Sean's going to talk to Peacock Financial. You haven't done that yet, have you, Sean?
No, I have not.
Okay. And see if they want to send somebody. And we have space for a third business. But, so.
I would think it would probably be good to talk to Flight if somebody wants to. I mean, I can ask Bill Butler to contact Flight, see if they're interested.
Yeah, would you do that?
Sure.
I mean, I'm not sure, since it's a restaurant. I don't know, but it is kind of in the area, so it would be kind of cool for them. If they're interested, they definitely. They also asked, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. So the National Technology Council suggested that we come up with like a list of 10 like, kind of like Bitcoin fun facts or something like that they would share using what's it called? Beacon technology?
Yeah, the beacons. It's a near-field communication stuff.
Yeah, to people at the event to have them come by our table.
You know that the beacon is iPhone only technology, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's Nashville. A lot of people have iPhones.
John, do you want to take care of doing that? That kind of fits in your wheelhouse of as far as onboarding people and the website that you already do as far as Bitcoin
Yeah, I'll
awareness
go
and
ahead and take care of
education.
that. If you add that as an action point, I'll take care of that. Because I just
Yep.
remembered they asked me this a couple weeks ago, and I never got back to them. So I'll get them the fun facts or whatever we call it. So we're also waiting to hear back from Matt Wilson's design guy that he has making some mock-up like potential logos for the Tennessee Bitcoin Alliance based on what we have so far and all that kind of stuff. I think that ideally, if we had really great stuff already ready to go, then we could print out like a banner or something for the table between now and then. But there is some expense associated with the banner where I don't know if it's a good idea to do that if we haven't officially settled on like our branding and stuff like that yet. So I was thinking about though. Well, anyways, what are your suggestions? What do you guys suggest on that?
I know. I mean, there's different thoughts on what the logo is going to be or whatever. I personally think what we have right now is better than nothing, and I think it's fine personally. But I'm not a very stylistically inclined person. But I think even just having any logo, even if we change our branding and logo later, so if someone comes to our website, they come to our Google Plus page, they come to our YouTube page, they'll see that logo and say, "Oh, okay, I'm at the right place." Even if we end up changing it in the future. So I'd be a fan of just printing out something. It doesn't have to be a banner, but just something with that current logo and some kind of sign that says, "Hey, we are the Tennessee Bitcoin Alliance." That would be my vote. I think trying to do more than that within the next 2 weeks is probably ambitious. I would like to have an actual creative team, an action team that is skilled at graphic design and all that, focus on the long-term branding of the organization. And so I don't want to rush that process. And I think, again, I like the logo we have now. I'm totally comfortable with it. But I also know that I'm not the person that has expertise in that area. So.
Okay. That's really helpful. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, Luke said it for me.
Okay.
Another thing too, I was just thinking about, this is more a housekeeping thing. We probably need to do for these meetings is go over the previous action items and hold each other accountable. I was just thinking about that just now before we jump into the agenda, because we have a lot of action items from the previous meeting. But what I'm going to do this week is I'll just go ahead and follow up with you guys via email, and we can follow through on those action points and see where we are with them.
That's a really good point. Thank you, Luke. Yeah, we need to make sure we do that. Otherwise, we just make lots of action points.
Yep.
And we just, yeah. Because I know some things from last week did get done and some didn't, so that'd be good to talk about. Okay, well, as far as the SoberFest stuff, since we don't have funds at this point to like print out a banner or something like that, I mean, I could just get like I could probably get some sort of like paper sign or something printed just for the event, so we have something.
That's what I was thinking. Unfortunately, I will not be there. We're going to be traveling.
Okay.
At that time, so.
Yeah, that's okay. And then this is on the agenda. Maybe you can add it. I don't know if we have time, but I'd like to discuss sponsoring the meetup events across the state. But we can go through some of this other stuff first because that's not an immediate urgent matter.
Yeah, no, I think I remember we talked about that briefly last night. I definitely think that would be something we should talk about.
Yeah.
If you want to drop that in an email, I'll put an action item for you to email us about that.
Okay, we'll do.
The meetup, because I do think that's something we should start discussing.
Yeah.
How we can help them. Okay. Also, let's just, because hopefully it's a quick one, has there been any website changes, Sean, that you know of that we want to review?
Not posted to the site. What we've done is we've come up with a way of we're going to use Google Docs to form a live collaborative document, and then everybody who's working on it can work on that document for drafting content. And then we have a private page that will either replace or become the public page, so that way once the information from the Google document is done and it's put into that web format, then we can review the web format before it goes live. So we have, looks like I'm looking at some minor changes right now with some of the stuff, but nothing that's ready to be published yet.
I like that process of just knowing what's going on, so that's great.
Yeah. Well, and Sean, at the last meeting, though, at the Web and Design meeting, I think the decision was that it seemed like best if before any new page goes live, a private link be shared with the board members for their review. Correct?
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. Was that the page when the content from the Google document over to a web page, it's going to be a private page that we'll be able to review before it's published live.
Great.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, so on to discussing our stance on affirmative action and/or equality, representation for minority groups within the board organization, etc. Again, I think that's a really big topic that we're going to have some passionate opinions on both sides and all sides, and I don't know if it's actually something we can quickly resolve in a quick hangout, but it's on the agenda, and we should probably start it off. I think, Sean, Roy, you brought this to our attention, so do you want to kind of lead the discussion?
I don't know if I want to lead the discussions. So I think that there's, to me at least, there seems some logical points that are pretty irrefutable, but then you get into all the social implications and all the other things, all the mess where it gets dirty. You know, when it comes to working with a team, working on any kind of project, I have a very simple and very straightforward logical stance. Most qualified person for the job. Easy. I don't want me when I'm working with somebody, I don't want their gender or their race or their sexuality or some other nonsensical thing to be a factor in that position. If they are qualified for the job, then they're qualified for the job. If they're not, then they're not. It's pretty straightforward.
I think one thing that I agree with that to an extent. One thing that I've more recently, I think, based on different relationships and people I've connected with, come to the realization that qualifications, like I think especially as developers, and Sean, you could probably understand this also being a developer, we want the world to be a meritocracy, and often it's not. Well, pretty much it's not at all, but there's an aspect of qualifications and basically someone's creativity, their experience. There's so many aspects that go into making someone qualified, because we're not robots, we're not machines that just get plugged into a cog and say, hey, you fit, you went to this schooling, you got this education, you had this experience at this job, so therefore you are the most qualified, you fit into this. I think that there are a lot of kind of untangible, like unmeasurable things that go into someone's qualifications, and that can include someone's perspective on the world, which could be, adjusted or influenced heavily by their minority status or anything else. And so I think that I agree with that standpoint, as long as we have a way to factor in, everyone's full experience into those qualifications. So, for example, we've talked in the past about wanting, even in the meetup group, long before the Bitcoin Alliance existed, we've talked about wanting more women and minorities represented in our meetups, because they bring a perspective that we don't have otherwise. So that actually makes their perspective a little bit more valuable, because it's basically a blind spot. It's an area that we have no understanding of if we don't have their involvement, and therefore it's more valuable than someone who doesn't have that same background, that same experience. So in a sense, it influences their qualifications for that specific role, which would be having a very inclusive, very our representation within the meetup is going to fully represent the views and the passions and the ideals and the projects and everything within Nashville for supporting Bitcoin. So use that as an example to say that whether or not we can define a framework for how someone's, I think the way you worded it was like, oh, these things are, they're not relevant at all as far as their skill set. That may be true for a lot of roles, but there may be other roles, such as PR as an example, like understanding, well, how is this message going to be received by these different communities? Well, that's an important perspective that only someone who has that kind of experience would be able to comment effectively on. So I want to bring it up to say, I think that someone's unique life experience will definitely impact their qualifications for many of the roles that we have, including board seats. And so I feel that that has to be factored in. And unfortunately, I don't know of a way to do that effectively where it's like, hey, this is a score of a 5 and this is a score of a 2, and therefore you add them all up and this person's better than that person for the role. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my...
Let me offer a couple of thoughts. And I think maybe one way of kind of squaring this circle is to kind of go back to our overall mission statement for the organization, right? I mean, our mission statement is blockchain technologies for a free and open society. And so whatever we do, I think, needs to be judged by that. As honorable as other missions may be, as honorable as supporting other charities or any number of great causes may be, that's not the mission of this particular organization. Which, that's not to say that I think that leads necessarily to the conclusion that we shouldn't bend over backwards to court certain perceived minorities. And what I mean by that is, just to give one example, if we don't successfully make Bitcoin so that it is understandable and enjoyed and appreciated by women, we will not succeed in our mission of advocating for blockchain technology. I mean, women are just going to be absolutely a critical component to that. And so to the extent that we want to to make extra efforts to court these groups that are important to Bitcoin's overall success, then I think it makes absolute sense to do it, and we should make every effort to do it. But we're doing it because it leads to the success of Bitcoin or blockchain technologies. We're not doing it because we're an organization out to advocate for minority rights or whatever. Those may be great causes, but in my view, they're not our cause.
I definitely agree with that, and I think that what really got me thinking about it is the word equitable. You know, that's something we put in our mission statement, you know, an equitable, you know, so that to me is important to say we want this to be an equalizer. That's something that we've all said is part of our mission. So in order to do that, if we have two groups of people, one being completely disadvantaged and one being, some would argue, privileged, and that's a whole other discussion, is it part of our mission statement as it relates to Bitcoin to say we want to create an even playing field? In order to do so, we need perspectives that may be outside of our understanding, just the four of us, or even the organization as it stands today. So I definitely agree that there is value, and we can base everything based on our mission statement. And if we disagree, then in essence we're saying we disagree with the mission statement, and that's something that we'll have to kind of tease through and say, okay, to what level and to what extent.
Well, and I have some thoughts on that. I think that it's an important discussion to have, but I do think that for all intents and purposes, most of it's more or less beyond our control. When we come, we do not get to choose the board of directors. The community chooses that. So if there's someone who represents a perceived minority who wants to run as a board director, and they get the platform behind them, and people decide they want to support that and vote for them, and they become a board director, awesome. But I want to make sure that we don't create disproportionate situations where it's easier for someone from some walks of life to become a board member than from others, because what that does is that turns the quality back around the other way. It says, like, okay, well, you know, we do want to have really just a balanced opportunity for people who want to come on as board directors, and ultimately the community will decide. The four of us will have some influence over that, but the community will ultimately decide who forms the board of directors. And I do think, though, when it comes to our target audience, that's definitely something that we have a lot more control over, as far as saying, okay, when we're developing resources and when we're holding workshops and stuff like that, are we taking into consideration all the opportunities available? And I completely agree with what Sean was saying about we need to always bring it back to our mission statement. In that, well, like last night at the National Bitcoin Meetup, we watched Bitcoin Buenos Aires, a little short video about Bitcoin in the third world and how life-changing it is there. So when we're talking about promoting blockchain technologies for a free and equitable society, then I think it's more than just a social issue about whether or not we should bring that mission to various different perceived minorities. But I think it's also that we need to look at, okay, well, where can we best promote it? Where can we best make an impact there? And there are people in perceived minorities who have huge issues with remittances, for example. They're constantly paying exorbitant fees to send money to other countries all over the world, and Bitcoin can change that. So in that sense, I think if we were to go to that community and say, hey, Bitcoin could completely change your life, then we're not only ministering to them or caring for them, but we're also coming back to our mission statement that really does resonate. So I think as long as we come from that perspective, I think we're good. We just have to make sure that we always bring it back to the mission statement.
Yeah, and specifically, I think Tennessee as well. So if there are groups within Tennessee that we can help get a more equitable free society via Bitcoin, then I think that should definitely be the priority. And back to Sean Roy's comment, I think if we think about it in terms of if I'm going to work with someone, they've got to be the very best qualified. I totally agree with that, and I do want to recommend that as it matters to us, as it matters to the board and our influence level, I think that we should definitely be thinking in terms of someone's life experience and their role in being the best qualified for something. So in that example, it's like, well, if we're going to be reaching out to a community that maybe I don't have any experience with, then I definitely, if I'm a good leader, I'm going to go, man, I need to get someone who has that experience in order to be the most effective person in that role. So that's why I think that it's a little bit of and. Not just so much or. It's like to be the best qualified for some of the things we want to accomplish, we should recognize these things at the same time because it filters into our mission statement of wanting a free and equitable society. So that works for me.
Okay. So I think that sounds good. I think we're more or less all on the same page. Does that sound good to each of you?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Okay, great. Good.
I will try to write up some notes on everything we just said, but I'll probably just watch this again and redo the notes because that was a lot of back and forth. But great stuff, guys.
Yeah. I think, and we want to, anytime this comes up, I think we want to face it head on rather than avoid it. But I do think, as long as we we want to be careful that we don't document ourselves into a corner with policies on overcompensating.
I think that was my very first knee-jerk reaction is that I've heard statements, and it's been from several people. I probably can think of 3 or 4 now in the last month that was like, oh, we have to do this, we have to include this person because we don't have any minorities or because we don't have women or because we, and it's just the wrong, to me, it's the wrong decision when you start making policies saying that, oh, we have to include this because of, but, going back to what Luke was saying about factoring in people's life experiences or where they came from, those are all things that do definitely affect your qualifications. And so if we're looking at our policy is qualifications as opposed to putting it in paper that we're going to have this minority, we're going to have this gender, we're going to have this religion or whatever it happens to be, on the internet is the same color, keystrokes are all one sex.
By the way, I like your shirt, Sean.
Oh, yeah, it's a Star Trek reference.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think we all know. But for prosperity's sake, it's not recorded. Great. Okay. So can we move on beyond that topic?
I think so. I've got some notes there. If you guys want to review those later, and I'll try and clean it up as well. So beyond that, we have membership level proposals. I think I'll have to check action items from last week. I think Sean Roy, you were going to work on. Yeah, create an action team meeting for determining the membership levels, pricing, value we offer, put together something for the board to review.
That has, I don't want to say fallen by the wayside. We're kind of dependent upon other people's schedules at this point and getting that manpower brought to the table.
Cool.
But it's still in the works. and we should have something kind of fleshed out here real soon. There were some people that I was hoping that we'd get some work done even last night, and people didn't show up, and things like that. So we kind of have to fall back and reschedule a little bit.
No problem. And then other than that, I think we've got the action team descriptions and the SOP. If there's been any changes to review, we can review those. If not, I think we could actually maybe even spend a little more time going through the action items for last meeting. That might be a good thing to do as well.
There have been some changes, but nothing so drastic that we have to go and review them right now. There's still documents, still stuff is being contributed by other people right now. So it's nothing yet for the board to review, but we will be there in a day or two, I'm sure.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And we can do that via email as well. It doesn't have to necessarily be anything out. Cool. So I would propose that we go ahead and go through the action items for last week. Does that sound good?
I think that's a great idea.
All right, I've got. Let me send a link here so you guys have it as well. This is,
And I'm open in Wunderlist to look at that too.
yes, that is in Wunderlist as well. Actually, yeah, if we've been keeping Wunderlist up to date, I guess we can just go through that as well. So, file for nonprofit EIN, that's been taken care of, right?
No, the EIN is the tax ID number.
Oh, gotcha.
So I haven't done that yet, but we haven't had a need for it yet, so it hasn't been urgent.
All right, we've already watched the film, so I guess we can check that off, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Present the bylaws. Have we done that to full membership?
No, actually, now that you mention it, I don't think we have.
Well, we've already submitted them, right?
Well, the bylaws, as Sean King alluded to before, we don't actually give a copy of the bylaws to the state.
Oh, okay.
We simply say we have bylaws, and they say great.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool. There's an entry on here, draft vision statement for using key defining words, free choice, peer-to-peer, human, economic slavery.
That was a note. Yeah, that was a note from actually our first meeting, I think.
Okay.
We started talking about, we kind of like came up with some words, and we said we need a vision, more than just a mission statement, we need like a broader vision as far as what we're doing. But I don't know if that's the case now that we have a defined mission statement, though.
Yeah, I think we've had some good discussion about that, and I think that our mission statement is clear enough that this may not be needed at this point. I think our mission is clear enough, and it's also broad enough in that the action teams can build off it as needed for their own vision statements, would be my thought.
I think so.
What do you guys think? Sean's?
I don't feel compelled to drill down on it, but I'm not opposed to it.
I got distracted here by something shiny.
Don't. We were just talking about whether or not we needed to define our vision statement further.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, I don't know if even right now. I mean, we may want to revisit that in 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Less than 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe like a December kind of thing, kind of revisit that.
Yeah, or maybe even the new board in January. They may want to come flesh that out more. Because our goal is to get things off the ground, not to lock everything into cement.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so then we've got action team for sales and marketing. I think we already discussed that. You're working on that, Sean. The SOP, you're working on that as well. Alias email addresses for action team leaders.
Yeah, that's something that we were talking about the other night. I think that what I'll do is once we have these, because let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have six action team sections on the website currently, but I think there's like 8 or 9. I think there's a few others. I think that what we need to do is kind of flesh that out and then create a generic email or a generic alias for each one of those, and then just plug in whoever, but we need to flesh that out first.
Cool.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, but I think the only one not listed on the website is sales and marketing. But I could be wrong.
I'll have to look, because we have a very large mind map that is still being worked on too. And there was also, I think we were talking about combining, was it press and media and something else, wasn't it?
Well, we changed press and media to public relations.
Yeah, it was a rename, I think.
Yeah.
There was something else that I'll have to go back and look at it. But yeah, So we may end up with 6 or 7 or 8 action teams, depending upon the outcome of those changes.
Okay. Either way, as far as creating the aliases, email addresses for action team leaders, that hasn't been done at this point, correct?
Correct.
Right? Okay. Okay, so that's still on our task list. Plan a meeting for the website action team to develop a proposal for how they... I think this is the meeting you just had, Sean, right?
Last Friday night, yeah.
Yeah. Plan a meeting for the website action team to develop a proposal for how they will approve changes to the website, involve the board and community members in the process. Okay, we're good with that.
Yeah, so we're good with that, and out of that, we were able to define a fairly standardized process that we can apply to all the action teams.
Excellent.
And that's why we're writing it in there. Each action team, if we have to, we can fine tune the minutia of it, but by and large, it's a general framework that everybody can work off of.
Great. Okay, and then we already talked about Sobrofest. And then we already talked about equality.
What's that about, talking about the Nashville Food Truck Association? Is that something you're working on, John?
Yeah.
Is that related to Sobro or something else?
No, to the Tennessee Bitcoin Alliance. I'm going to be meeting with, I got an email from, one of the guys I was meeting with that I met at Spark Nashville who wanted to meet with me privately and talk about Bitcoin. He introduced me via email to I guess he's the president of the Nashville Food Truck Association. Because I mentioned offhand that some of the very first businesses to accept Bitcoin were food trucks in like the various different cities, and he was like, oh, well, we have a food truck association. Let's get them on board. So, yeah, so that's pretty exciting. I'm meeting with them. Who knows how that'll go? But
cool.
I'm thinking good things.
Very cool.
Oh,
hey, guys, I think we did awesome this meeting. We actually finished a little bit early.
Yeah, that's the first time that's happened.
I know.
One thing I do need to disclose, and just, conflict of interest and stuff, I alluded in the past that this may be the point, but just to full disclosure, I am now officially a BitPay integration partner, or my business is. So anything that, so if I set up a business, or someone who works with me sets up a business with BitPay, I may get a small commission from BitPay because of that. So full disclosure, if anything comes up with BitPay, I'm happy to excuse myself from a vote or whatever. But even before I was ever an integration partner, I always recommended them because I think they're the best out there. So just full disclosure, so you guys know.
Cool.
No problem.
Anything else we need to discuss, or should we call it a day?
I think we've gone through anything else.
I can't think of anything.
Great. And Sean.
I was just going to say, Sean, Roy, it sounds like you're doing a lot of the action team stuff right now. I think we're all pretty busy, but please, by all means, definitely email us as a group. Just if there's anything we can help with, or anything that you'd like assistance with, because I know you're spearheading a lot of the action team formation, which is awesome and I super appreciate. But I want to make sure that you don't feel overwhelmed by that, and just know that we're willing to contribute however we can.
Yeah, I think right now we've got a lot of the members of those action teams are they're going out and recruiting other members. So it's kind of taken off on its own. I think that right now the biggest and most important part is just building the framework, the structure, the foundation, so that way everybody can work autonomously without constant oversight, and let's let them do their jobs.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, I think this meeting is adjourned.
I believe that's the case.
Great stuff. I believe I'll be here next week. Like I said, we're going to be traveling. Corinne, do you know if we're going to be here Wednesday morning? 24th. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll keep you up to date. Otherwise, have a great day, guys.
Okay. Right. FYI, the multi-signature wallet's up on the website now.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well done.
So that's done.
All right.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later.
Take care, guys.
All right. Bye.